every day at work. Issues arise, challenges pop up, resources are constrained. How do we decide the best and most effective use of our time? Well, the easy question is, which one of these is going to enable us to better fulfill our mission? And our core values are critically important to us as well. And for us, our core values are student focus, quality, and integrity. So we're going to make sure, as we have to make difficult decisions, that we're putting students first. That's our primary focus. That we are not going to sacrifice quality in what we do and what we offer. And we're going to operate with a high degree of integrity so that we can all feel good about looking each other in the eye and explaining what's happening at the university, why we're making the decisions that we are, and feel good when we get ready to go to sleep at night.
All right. A very good morning, good evening to everyone who is watching this podcast. I am very excited to have a very special guest with us today. Joining me is Dr. Marty Roth, or as everyone calls him, Marty. So Dr. Roth became the president of University of Charleston in July 2018. Before coming to West Virginia, he was the dean and professor of management and marketing at the Barney School of Business, University of Hartford. He was previously chair of Sonoco International Business Department, executive director of the flagship international MBA program, and the chief innovation and assessment officer at the University of South Carolina's top-ranked School of Business. As a higher education leader, Dr. Roth has spent past 30 years helping universities excel by focusing on the talent acquisition and development needs of students and organizations. Working closely with faculty and staff, he has led increases in enrollment, ranking, retention, student placement, and satisfaction. At University of Charleston, their mission is to educate each student for life of productive work, enlightened living, and community involvement. Dr. Roth's teaching and research expertise is in global strategy, management, and marketing, and he has won numerous teaching awards, including the Alfred G. Smith Jr. Award at the Moore School of Business, EIMBA Elective Professor Award, and an Excellence in Teaching Award from the University of South Carolina. He has also taught at the Carroll School of Management at Boston College, Katz Graduate School of Business at University of Pittsburgh, Arthur D. Little School of Management in Boston, and at universities in Austria, France, Hong Kong, Mexico, Portugal, Thailand, and Tunisia. Executive education and consulting engagements with Blue Cross and Blue Shield, BMW, CSX, FiberWeb, Metso, Nissan, Pitney Bowes, Verizon, Xerox, and other companies. Dr. Roth has published numerous research in management journals, including the HBR, the Harvard Business Review, and the Journal of Marketing Research. He earned his doctorate MBA and BA from University of Pittsburgh before entering higher education. Dr. Roth worked in marketing, research, and retailing. Dr. Roth, it's such a pleasure to have you join us today, and I'm so excited about this conversation to learn more about University of Charleston, about your background, about marketing, management, and everything around it. And you hold a PhD in marketing and anthropology, which is a rare and fascinating combination. How do these disciplines intersect in your work, and how have they shaped your perspective as a university leader?
Great. Well, thanks so much for inviting me, Devesh. It's a pleasure to be here with you. When I was in my doctoral program, I really wanted to do something that was global in nature. And of course, I was earning a PhD in business with an emphasis in marketing. So my advisors encouraged me to take advantage of the kind of breadth of academic programs that the University of Pittsburgh offered. So I sat in on a lot of economics, political science, sociology, and anthropology classes, and was really struck by the whole notion of culture and how that influences both organizations as well as individuals' behavior. And so that took me on a journey of doing a minor in cultural anthropology, so learning all about the research methodology of ethnography and participant and non-participant observation and so forth, which has been very useful for me in both my academic research as well as I've kind of progressed into various leadership roles. So here at the University of Charleston, we're a very global university. We're proud each year to welcome over 200 students from over 50 countries to join us. They make up a great and rich part of the University of Charleston family. In fact, here in West Virginia, it's not uncommon for some of our local in-state students to really have not traveled very far. They may have never been on an airplane. They may not have traveled beyond the state of West Virginia or any further than navigating their way with their family vacation to the beach. So when they get to come here to the University of Charleston and be in classes, be in student organization, live in residence halls, and maybe even be a roommate with somebody from a completely different part of the world and kind of learn about their background, their interests, the things that are important to them. It really opens up their eyes and gives them a global experience without ever leaving campus. So I'm really grateful for having the opportunity to have the flexibility to integrate the studies of both kind of a classic field like anthropology with a more contemporary field like marketing, and use that to kind of best understand how organizations and managers can work effectively in a increasingly global world.
Fantastic. And to all those listeners who are watching this, if you are in grade 12 or gap year, and if you are looking to study these majors, you can win a full tuition scholarship to study at University of Charleston if you apply for the Next Genius Scholarship Program. Dr. Roth, before moving into higher education, you worked in a corporate role or in consulting role in marketing and in retailing. What lessons from those early professional years still influence the way you think about students, curriculum, and the skills required in today's workplace?
Yeah, I think two things, Devesh. The first is I worked in retail pharmacy, and in market research. So both of those are really service organizations. So when you work in the service field, you realize early on that the success of organizations in the service space are really very relational. It's all about establishing relationships with potential customers or existing customers, having a increasing level of trust, having an increased level of understanding of their needs and how your organization can help fulfill them. So I think that's critically important in higher education today. We're certainly in the service business as well. If you look at our operating budget, 2/3 of it are people. That's what we do. We have outstanding faculty who love working with students, and we have a lot of staff that support the great work that our faculty do, and the various types of extracurricular and co-curricular activities that our students are able to engage in. So I think that kind of service element is kind of one thing that jumps out at me. And then I think the second thing is, running a university is like running any other business, right? We love to talk about our students as students, but in a lot of ways, our students are our customers, right? So we have to really understand our customer needs, understand what their expectations are, do everything that we can, not only to meet those expectations, but to exceed those expectations. We can't do it without having great employees. So we need to understand what are the things that they need to be productive in their work, what are the resources they need to be successful, and how can we empower them and provide them with what they need to not only do a great job, but be excited about coming to work every day and feeling a sense of satisfaction when they're on their way home after the end of a work day. So those are some of the things that were kind of big takeaways for me early in my career about service. and about customers that I think have really helped me is I have taken on various roles of administrative responsibility in higher education.
No, absolutely. I totally agree and I understand. I think what I take back from here is first thing is when you're the comparison between running a university and running a retail organization is that you need to understand your customer, you need to build that trust, you need to understand the customers' needs at one end, and on the other hand, you need to work with your team so that they are on the same page with you and they are excited and they are happy to sort of offer their exceptional services to ensure that the organization grows in line with the larger vision. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great summary. And I think part of the leadership challenge is as an organization like ours continues to innovate and diversify, and we're looking to serve more students in terms of their backgrounds and their experiences. We're doing that by offering more programs in more modalities, utilizing technology and so forth. As you have an ever increasingly and complex organization, what's the glue that kind of holds us together? What's the sense of purpose or the sense of why that we have common across us, regardless if I'm teaching marketing or I'm working in human resources or I'm the coach of the soccer program? That's where an organization's values and its mission or and its vision become so critically important. And you mentioned in your introductory bio that our mission here at the university is that we're going to educate each and every student for three things: a life of productive work, enlightened living, and community involvement. Those are really critical to how we look at our work every single day. And every day at work, issues arise, challenges pop up, resources are constrained. How do we decide the best and most effective use of our time? Well, the easy question is, which one of these is going to enable us to better fulfill our mission? And our core values are critically important to us as well. And for us, our core values are student focus, quality, and integrity. So we're going to make sure, as we have to make difficult decisions, that we're putting students first. That's our primary focus. That we are not going to sacrifice quality in what we do and what we offer. And we're going to operate with a high degree of integrity so that we can all feel good about looking each other in the eye and explaining what's happening at the university, why we're making the decisions that we are, and feel good when we get ready to go to sleep at night, that we're not tossing and turning because of decisions that we made that weren't necessarily in the best interests of the university or in the best interest of our colleagues or our students. So, sometimes in strategic planning, it seems like not necessarily the most beneficial use of time to go through those exercises of reviewing or modifying an organization's values, its mission, its vision. But I think they're critically important, and they need to be things that are easily understandable, easily accessible, so that everybody in the organization, you stop them in the hallway, you can say, hey, by the way, what are the University of Charleston's core values? Oh, I know. Student focus, quality, integrity. Hey, I stop a student. Hey, what's the university's mission? They're going to educate me and everybody else for three things: a life of productive work, enlightened living, and community involvement. So chunks of three are very helpful to assist with people recalling and being able to restate what we want everyone to be thinking about.
True. And also using simple words, simple languages, student focus, quality, integrity, not very complex things, which are, which just increases the complexity of what we do, right? So
exactly.
Dr. Roth, you have held numerous leadership roles in multiple globally recognized business schools from South Carolina to Hartford. What drew you to UC, and what makes UC's philosophy distinct in today's higher education landscape? And we briefly touched upon this, but if there's anything that you want to expand upon.
Sure. We've talked a bit about the university's mission, but I would challenge you to look at mission statements of other colleges and universities and find the word work in them. That really struck me. And that's been a big philosophy of mine as a professor and as a dean of a business school previously, is that was our kind of primary objective. We were preparing students for the world of work, making sure that they were learning everything that potential employers thought that they should know, making sure that they had hands-on experience applying what they were learning in real-world situations, preparing them to have great communication skills so they could work effectively within an organization, all those important characteristics. It was all about preparing students for careers. So the fact that the University of Charleston was so forward-thinking in its mission of preparing students for lives of productive work really resonated with me. And the university has had a very long, rich history of innovation. And that's been, I think, a hallmark of what I've tried to do as a leader. It's kind of the old Einstein parable. The definition of insanity is kind of doing the same things and expecting a different outcome. So if you want to grow enrollment, you probably need to look at your portfolio of programs and see if there's other things you can offer that would attract students who otherwise wouldn't be looking at your university as a good option. And you can kind of use that for all different types of things, kind of student services on campus experiences and so forth. So the university had a very rich tradition of innovation, which appealed to me. And as a result, for a school our size of about 3,000 students, we're very diversified. We have a wide variety of academic programs at many levels. Of course, the core bachelor's degree, we have master's degrees, doctoral degrees, as well as associate two-year degrees. We operate at two different locations. We have a very rapidly growing online part of our enterprise where we work with a lot of students who are with various branches of the U.S. military. So we're really doing a lot of very creative things. So I really was impressed with that track record of the university and was pretty confident that my skills in innovation, deployment of technology, marketing, developing partnerships with external organizations would help the university continue on that path of innovation and growth.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's exciting, and what I understand from this is that the university is agile, and I think move fast and sort of traditionally we see universities taking their own sweet time to make those changes, but when the changes are coming from the top, and I think with the pace that you do things, I'm sure there's many more interesting things coming up in UC's way. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think part of that is trying to make sure that innovation is a vibrant part of the culture of the organization, and making sure that everybody recognizes that, kind of using a baseball or sports metaphor, we're not going to bat 1,000. You're not going to get a hit every time you come up to the plate, or you're not going to serve an ace every time that you serve in a tennis match. But if we can kind of be above average in terms of our success rate, then we'll do well. And we need to address opportunities for growth with a fair amount of discipline. We need to make sure they're data-driven decisions. We're very much kind of conservative in our estimates of what's realistic with regard to new student enrollment. Make sure that if we're going to invest in a new program, there are going to be great jobs for students when they graduate, or kind of great opportunities for them to continue on their education in graduate school. So really having a very kind of thoughtful and comprehensive process for how we analyze and vet new program opportunities, and kind of make those important strategic resource allocation decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Dr. Roth, for students who are listening, what are some of the most popular majors at UC, And what do these choices tell us about the evolving student aspirations and the changing job market?
Yeah, another great question. So the programs, our largest programs right now, are certainly in business. We have a lot of students to come to us and major in the various business disciplines, accounting, marketing, management. We have a thriving sport business program. Business analytics has been growing very rapidly over the past 5 or 6 years. So that's kind of across all those majors. Business is one of our largest areas of study. Um, Applied computer science has been growing very rapidly, and with that, we have been expanding our offerings underneath the applied computer science umbrella. So we offer concentrations in game design, artificial intelligence, information systems, cybersecurity, and so forth. And so those are increasingly popular with students. And then healthcare is a very big part of what we do with our kind of on-campus programs here in Charleston. West Virginia has a little bit of an aging population, so there's a great demand for all different types of clinicians, whether it's nurses, people working in medical imagery like radiology, the rehabilitation sciences like occupational therapy, physical therapy, so on and so forth. So I'd say those are our three biggest areas, kind of business, computer science, and healthcare. And we've been expanding that portfolio in those areas, not only at the undergraduate level, but the graduate level as well. So we now have, in addition to a great MBA program, we also have a master's in business and data analytics, which is increasingly popular. We have launched a number of new healthcare programs where the requirements for licensure to practice as a clinician requires a graduate degree. So nurse practitioner, physician assistant, occupational therapy, physical therapy. We partner with the large hospital system in our area on a nurse anesthetist program, which is in very high demand. So I think what that signals is those are the places where there are great jobs for graduates. And that's really what UC is all about. We're not trying to kind of fill seats in programs where students are going to have a challenge finding good career opportunities when they graduate. It's really the contrary. We're going to do our best to promote the programs where we know that with great preparation, students are going to have great employment opportunities. And during their time with us, they're not only going to be able to work with our outstanding faculty, but they're going to have opportunities to do internships, project work, research, clinical rotations, externships, and so forth in the fields that they're studying. And that's one of the things that I think makes us a little bit different than some other universities is we want students diving into their major early on in the process. Year one here at UC, we want them to start taking classes in accounting or marketing or cybersecurity or whatever it is that the student's majoring in. So they can begin to learn about that field in a little bit more depth than they probably had an opportunity to be exposed to previously. And they're having opportunities to hear from managers and leaders in those professions and working in those types of organizations. So they're getting a sense early on, was this really the right decision for me? Hey, maybe I really don't like being around blood after all. Maybe I need to pivot away from healthcare. Or, geez, this business analytics, yeah, it's a little bit more kind of math and statistics. I'm more of a people person, so maybe I'll kind of transition more into a marketing or management or professional selling type of major. We don't want students having that revelation their senior year, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I spent all this time focusing on one thing. Now I've kind of run out of time to change my major. We want students to have plenty of opportunities for flexibility and also build into our curriculum that it's very easy for our students to do a double major or have majors and multiple minors so they can really take advantage of all the variety and depth of content and exposure that we can offer here as a comprehensive university.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for sharing that response. And earlier you spoke about productive work. You talk about how university prepares you for the productive work. But you also the mission also talks about enlightened living and community involvement. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? What does that mean for a student?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was one of the first things that I started to ask people when I got here is if I were to stop a student as their name was called at graduation and they're walking across the stage and I have the pleasure of handing them their diploma, could they tell me what they had experienced here at UC that prepared them for a life of productive work, enlightened living, and community involvement? And everyone's like, productive work? Absolutely. We're great at that for all the things we talked about previously. Community service? Yeah, we're pretty good. We have lots of opportunities for students to be involved in different types of community organizations and contribute in service capacities. And we do that through different academic programs in their major, if they're in a club or organization, for example, if they're competing on one of our sports teams or they're in the band or the chorus. All of those different entities do community service work. And then we do an entire day where we say there's not going to be any classes today. It's what we call labor of love. We're going to go out into the community and share the love and make sure that the community knows how appreciative we are of having our home here in the city of Charleston. But when it came to enlightened living, it was a little less clear because enlightened living isn't one of those things that has a very standard definition. So for us, enlightened living means raising our awareness and understanding of important contemporary issues so that we're a little bit more comfortable with the complexities of the world around us and hopefully a little bit more confident that we can play a role in influencing or helping to address challenges that we face as in society or as kind of global citizens of the world. So every year we try to identify a theme that we integrate into university-wide programming, as well as encourage faculty to embed into their courses. So we may focus on issues around social justice. We might focus another year issues around the environment. Another year we might focus on issues around physical and mental health and well-being. We may focus on kind of understanding and appreciating our similarities and differences, given that we have such kind of a rich array of students and employees that work here at the university. So I think that's something that really sets us apart, and we take great pride into putting together programming, some of which we do as an entire university community, showing a film and then having a panel discussion, in our large auditorium or in our sports arena, to having different types of speakers or projects that are embedded into courses. So the students are learning about things that might fall a little bit outside of their traditional major, but are certainly important contemporary issues. And our employees are right next to them, digging into those issues right along with them. So I think that's what enlightened living means for us, and really helps to bring those kind of three legs of the mission stool together for us here at the University of Charleston.
Wonderful. That's very interesting, and thanks for explaining that to me. We are almost coming towards the end of the session now. Dr. Roth, my final question to you is about students. The world of business and marketing is changing rapidly with AI, business analytics, globalization, and shifting consumer behavior. What should a 17-year-old who aspires to study business or marketing start focusing on?
Yeah, that's a really important question. I think there's a couple things. The first is one of the big advantages students have today is they're very comfortable and conversant with technology. They've kind of grown up with mobile devices. They've grown up with the internet, gives them very easy access to a whole world of information. But if you think about the ways that artificial intelligence are the most useful for us, it kind of requires two things. The first is you have to know what tool to use and what to ask it. Well, you don't really know what to ask until you have some experience and foundation to really kind of guide what you want that artificial intelligence tool to provide to you. And then the second is you have to look at the product that that artificial intelligence tool generates and be able to view it through a educated and somewhat critical lens, because it's not always going to be right. And by right, that can mean it may be factually, not necessarily as correct as it could be, but it also could mean that it's not right in the terms of what you really, the information that you need for the task at hand, whether it be you're looking to generate content for a marketing flyer or a marketing brochure, or you've collected a lot of data from your customers and you're trying to analyze it to look for trends and patterns and things that you can do to better address their needs. You have to go into it with almost like the old kind of scientific process. You have an objective, you have a hypothesis, you have a methodology, you're going to generate results, and you're going to analyze those results. Well, you need to go into it with a very clear set of goals or objectives. You need to have a hypothesis. So if the results don't come back the way you expect, that you're really probing and pushing and making sure that those results are accurate or have integrity based on your intuition and your experience on what you expected those results to be. Really look carefully at the method. So did you really ask that tool the right questions? Did you use the right tool? Did you provide it with the right information for it to be able to go out and do the correct analysis or kind of find the right information? If it comes back citing a source, check the source. Check it yourself. Make sure that that source really exists, that the source really does have the data that the tool is purporting it to have as the basis for its response. So I think that's one of the things that is a little bit difficult for individuals that don't yet have a lot of experience. They don't have a lot of experience in terms of, am I asking the right question? Do I really know what to expect? Do the results really have the integrity that they should? Because a lot of those, you can't really ask those questions or try to find those answers until you have some experience. So I think that's one of the things that I would encourage students to do is don't be too impatient. Don't feel like you can just kind of go to a tool and it's going to get the job done. If that were the case, you wouldn't need to go to college to learn to learn a profession to do a job, because the tools would just be doing all those jobs for us. That's not where we are, and that's not the way that I think good AI is evolving. But it certainly are great tools that give us incredible efficiency that we never had before, and enable us to access information and analyses that would be very difficult, if not impossible, for us to do on our own. The other thing that I would add is, technology and AI is one example, are things that we can do independently. But if you look at the world of work, things happen not really by individuals, but by teams and by departments and units and organizations and companies. And it really requires that people are able to come around a common sense of purpose, like we talked about before, values, mission, vision, sets of objectives, sets of goals, and be able to communicate with each other and work effectively together. Because the power of a team is always going to be greater than the power of the same number of individuals. And right now in our society today, people are kind of growing up with the ability to be more independent than they ever were before. And I think that's one of the big advantages of going to a college or a university is starting to have the opportunity of being around people of a whole lot of kind of diverse backgrounds and interests and experiences and so forth, and seeing what it's like to be part of a group, find that kind of sense of belonging, that sense of family, and the ways that not only can you be more effective by collaborating with other people, but it typically makes the journey more fun. And that's really what you're going to need to take into your career, because you're going to spend the next 30 or 40 years working, not by yourself. You're going to be working with other people, your colleagues, your partners, your customers, your suppliers, whatever the case may be. And if you kind of never develop that appreciation and never develop that comfort level and never develop that kind of desire for being around other people, I think it's going to make the world of work a lot more challenging than it really should be.
Wow, that was really insightful, Dr. Roth. Really enjoyed having this conversation with you. Thank you so much for your time today. If there are people who would like to get in touch with you, what is the best way to reach out to you?
Sure. You can reach out to me via my email. It is my full name, Martin Roth, MartinRoth, at ucwv.edu. We really appreciate the great work that Devesh and his team are doing with the Next Genius Scholarship. Really a terrific opportunity for international students to come to a great university like UC, and we would welcome your interest and see if what we have to offer would be a good fit for you, depending on your personal and your professional aspirations. So Devesh, thank you very much, and we look forward to continuing to collaborate with you and your terrific organization.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Roth. Thank you so much for your time today.
Happy to do it. Take care.